and welcome to Sports Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe, right here in Lagos.
What a greetings to you, wherever you are in the world watching us in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan.
All right, yes, tonight it is a loaded package. We will be talking about Davis Cup. Yes, Davis Cup. Nigeria is participating. They are in World Group 2, trying to see if they can get a promotion to World Group 1. And then from there, of course, the opportunity to start playing qualifiers for the Davis Cup. Yes, that's to get our attention on the show tonight. And of course, Africa Cup of Nations, the fallout is still coming out. Just last night, we had the best 11, the best teams. And of course, as usual, the dominant teams will always be the first, second, and third. It's Morocco having 4 players, Nigeria 3 players, you know, the top 3 we are talking about. And Senegalese, of course, also having 4 players from that best 11 that was released by CAF Technical Study Group. Yes, we'll also be talking about all the games that went down in the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership. Yes, all the games that went down last night across the country, with Rivers Angels, the biggest winner, winning by 5-0. Of course, they had a hat-trick and a brace from that game. And FC Rebel Queens, their 6 games unbeaten run finally ending, and it happened in Ikene. Remo says ladies ensured what? It won't get up to 7. But Bayelsa Queens are still running riot, right? Their 6 games winning streak they are currently on. And of course, they're doing something big as defending champions. And also, yes, the UEFA Champions League get our attention. You're going to be hearing from Ancelot talking about what happened last night. Of course, Mo Salah back in the squad. He couldn't score, missing a sitter, but then they were able to win against Marseille by 3-0. You'll be hearing from the coach on the show tonight. It is a loaded package. Yes, it's really loaded. Am I missing out anything? Of course, the Super Falcons of Nigeria. We're starting the countdown soon. March is just around the corner. They're back in Morocco in March. And of course, what is that? Another mission. This time around is going to be Title 11. Is it possible? Well, that may be possible. But the organizers, not just the organizers, the sports administrators in Nigeria, National Sports Commission, they said, of course, what they've done with the boys, they're going to do with the girls. Well, no, time will tell, right? We'll just wait and see what's going to happen. Preparations hasn't started. We don't know the timetable yet. But then you have the whole of February for them to prepare. Maybe 1 or 2 friendlies they will play. But whatever programs they have, I'm sure we're going to be having that. We'll talk about the Super Falcons, of course, preparations and build up to WAFCON 2026 in Morocco. Remember, this is a World Cup qualifiers. Of course, 4 best teams will get a direct entry to be at the 2027 World Cup in Brazil. It's a Thursday, and Bolo Omoniyi is right here in the studio. The last time you were on Zoom, right? AFCON was taking center stage across.
Well, it shows it's the best competition in the whole world. Some people may argue that that's a cup of tea, but it's the best national team competition ever. Maybe second to only the FIFA World Cup. We had fun. We enjoyed the games. Many classic goals. A player even got 2 overhead kicks. Drama. I know many people are talking about more of what we saw in the final. The AFCON was a joy to watch, and it's good to be here again. And of course, on the day where we're talking about the women's sport, why am I not going to be here?
Yeah, of course you'll be here, right? All right, let's start off with the best 11. I know how many people, I don't know if we can argue this, but I wanted one name to be there, Alex Iwobi. I was gutted I didn't say. We're going to be having that soon. The best 11 coming from the Africa Cup of Nations, the CAF Technical Study Group. They came up with these players. Yes, we're starting off with the big boy leading the attack right there. Victor Osimhen, 4 goals he scored at the Africa Cup of Nations. Brahim Diaz, no doubt about him. Obviously, he's here. He scored 5 goals. And, of course, he missed 1. He did it Penaka. And, of course, he robbed them off of the game they were trying to win. Sadio Mane, the MVP of the tournament. Obviously, you can't rule that. Papa Gueye is also here. And, of course, the guy who scored the winning goal for Senegal is also here in the midfield. I thought maybe somehow, maybe one of them will be out. They have Alex Iwobi around here. But Demola Lookman, of course, making it score 3 goals. Ashraf Hakimi, no doubt about him. He's right here. He was strong at the back for the Moroccan. Of course, Nakite is also here from Senegal. You have Kevin Bassey of Nigeria. Of course, Mazari is also here. And Bono considered 2 goals in 7 matches that he was in charge for the Moroccan team. So these are your best 11. Austin, is there a name you thought could have been here? For me, I thought Alex Iwobi would have been around here, but he's not here. But these are the stars. 4 CAF best 11 from the CAF Technical study group from the Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco 2025?
I'll take it. I'll take this list, but emotionally, if I'm to put in a name there from the Super Eagles, sorry for me, it's not Alex Iwobi, it's Akko Adams. One way or the other, I'll just say.
Who are you going to take out? I mean, you have Sadio Mane, you've got Diaz. I mean, we're talking about forwards players here. Who are you going to take out?
who is the person behind Lookman? Maybe somebody will just go and I'll not explain. We saw it. We saw it. Remember? At the last AFCON, I was asking a lot of questions, and CAF did just send us because they wanted certain names there. Why am I saying Akko Adams? You see, I like impact, immediate impact, and when players do that, it shows that. I asked him the question at the mixed zone, and he said, "Look, I'm destined for this." In September, Cecilia Mbolu, Akko Adams was dropped from a 34-man list in September.
Yeah.
He was recalled in October. And look, that's what I keep telling players. When you have a chance, take it. And
they pick it up.
And this guy
it's impact. I mean, Austin, you haven't answered my question. I'm telling you, between Sadio Mane, Victor Osimhen, and Ruben Diaz, who are you going to drop and put Akko Adams here? You haven't answered the question.
I'll tell Ruben Diaz, why did you do what you did in the final? Go and sit down. Go and sit down.
Now that's the emotion playing out right
just
there.
Once and I'll say front, sit down. Anyway, that's just me, being emotional because of what Akko Adams did at the competition. I like the list. I thought it was balanced. I thought it was good. And I tweeted that I'm super duper happy for Calvin Bassey. Because I asked a lot of questions when he was snubbed for the group phase. I thought he did just enough to even be part of the best 11 from the group stage. And he wasn't there, So now when he was added, I think it's really good. Bolu, I don't know about you, but I think this list is balanced. And if you had to slot in someone the way I want to bring in Akko Adams through the back door, what would that be?
Well, the truth is, I've been watching football, following for a while, not as old as the both of you, obviously, but this is probably one of the first times we'll see first 11 that almost everyone will agree with. Yeah, you may think maybe one or two players could slot in, like Cecilia mentioned for it would be maybe, just maybe to be a switch, take out Osimhen, put Lookman forward, put Iwobi in the midfield. Or the truth is, if Senegal did not win this tournament, I don't think Sadio Mane would have been in the team of the tournament. I don't think he would have been the player of the tournament. That's one of the advantages that comes with winning. But whichever way, I think the team is well balanced. It's hard to take out the highest scorer in the competition. It's hard to take out the second highest scorer in the competition. It's even harder to take away the player of the tournament. If I'm taking out maybe another player, probably Papa Gay for Iwobi there. But whichever way, I think I've tried so much with this one to balance it out. The two teams in the final have 4 players in the team. The third best team also have 3. Settles it like that. No fights, no quarrel, nothing. But whichever way, if anyone is making any change, it could be maybe 1 or 2.
Maybe 1 or 2 changes, all right? I mean, there you have it, CAF Best 11. Of course, consensus here is that it is a good one, right? So we'll live in it and, of course, quickly talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Yes, that's where we're going up next because Austin actually caught up with the National Sports Commission guys, the 2 guys actually heading in. You have Sheldiko, and of course, you have the DG, Bukola Lookman, talking about what they intend to do. Yes, they understand that anytime the Falcons go out, they always bring back something. Okay, let's run through the group. I mean, talk about this one before we get to listen to them. Group C, that's where you have the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And of course, you have Zambia that they actually whitewashed 5-0. I still love that particular result. And Egypt and Malawi completing that. So the 4 teams that reach the semi-finals will qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil in 2027. So that's what Group C is like for you from the Super Falcons Group C. Now let's take a look at each of the match days. So the first match they'll be playing match day 1. It will be in March 18, 2026. They're playing Malawi. It will be Labi Zuli Stadium in Casablanca. I mean, they play a lot of games right here, and that's when they're going back. I don't know. The Super Falcons actually have a tradition with the Labi Zuli Stadium. It's not one of the best stadiums. It's just like a very small stadium, but that's where they will be playing all their games. The next game is against Zambia, match day 2, and that will be 21st of March. Also Labi Zuli Stadium, and match day 3 on the 24th in March Egypt and Nigeria will wrap up the group stage. So this is what it's like for them. So you're going back to Casablanca, same stadium, but I hope it is not the same hotel. If it is, Nigerian Football Federation, please get money. You can actually get an alternative accommodation for them. If CAF is going to put them in that same place that they played at the last one, it was awful. Okay. This is what it's like. Let's listen to the guys responsible for preparations, because they said they will have to meet and talk before the tournament will start, because Bolu and Austin will react to this.
The welfare of the players. Always make that number one. But that is not a lesson. That is what we're already doing. I just believe that Malam Shodiko, Alhaji Ibrahim Guzo, Dr. Shanusi, and myself must sit down and agree on a very, very stronger relationship for us to put the Super Falcons at the top of our agenda in the next 2 months. I had a discussion with the captain of the Super Falcons yesterday, brilliant woman, and I can tell you some of the things they are discussing with the NFF, she's made known to the NSC, and together we'll see to it that they come here to defend their trophy, qualify for the World Cup, and above it all, have a wonderful administrative experience from us to them, so that they can say tomorrow that, you know what, we are being looked after, and when you look after us as athletes, we give the feel-good factor to the homes of Nigerians, and we want to thank this NSC. That is what I want to hear from them. So I think the lesson, as usual, will be put the team and the players at the forefront of your planning.
Absolutely, we always, the women never let us down. The women always get our backs in Nigeria. So definitely we have to do what we have to do for them. And already their houses, their national honors, everything is already available and in play. So we'll make sure now we hand over to them as well before the next AFCON when they resume camp. And then we'll make sure that we work very hard with the Ministry of Finance and everybody in charge to make sure all the funding that is supposed to be for them will be available before the WAFCON. Definitely, we'll try to do that as much as possible.
Yeah, Austin did this interview, so the first question is going to go to him. Austin, what prompted you to actually ask them this question? Because I know you caught up with them in Rabat in Morocco, and of course, you had to ask them about the girls since they're going back there in March.
We had the issue of the unpaid allowances, Cecilia, and it was ugly. We were getting ready for a crucial quarterfinal match against Algeria, and the guys were threatening not to come to Marrakesh because of unpaid allowances. So I asked Shehu Diko and Bukola Olopade, what are the major lessons that you have learned from this AFCON that can help us prepare the Super Falcons properly for the WAFCON in March? That was the question. And Bukola Olopade said it's not a lesson because they're already doing it. I needed to put it out there.
Yeah.
Because the ladies will not look at anybody's face if they mess around with them. Because now the men, they've done their part. And we've always said it. We've been pushing for equality. What you do for the men, do more for the women. And that was why I wanted them to say it. Let the whole world listen to it and know that they have said that they are going to, and Bukola Olopade said it, and his office is in charge of that welfare, that they will make sure that welfare is top-notch. That interview is long, and I still think we should play the other part tomorrow, where I said, okay, what other ways can we ensure that all of these problems is out? And he talked about proper collaboration with the media, putting out information, vital information, proper communication. Bukola Olopade said all those things. Shehu Diko said the women don't fail us. And we know they went to Morocco the last time, and they gave us Mission X, easy peasy, they accomplished it, and they gave us something to remember. It was a memorable win. So we don't want all of these ugly incidents to repeat itself again in the same Morocco when the Super Falcons start. And you've mentioned something important, Cecilia. You said where they stayed the last time wasn't befitting of the Super Falcons. They hold the history of Africa's football. They are the model. We must treat them with that pride and respect. So all of these things, now we in the media, we're putting it out there. We're calling these people out because people that are online will rush to me and say, the media, they're not doing anything. What are they? We are holding them responsible, accountable. Bolu, and these things we're talking about, it is really important. If we do those things, remember I said that you start winning 70% even before you enter the pitch when you take care of some of these things. These are some of those things I was talking about, Bolu.
It's a no-brainer. We all, or everybody is expected to know that football is not one just on the field of play alone. We all talk about what Senegal have done, winning 2 WAFCON in, I think, 3 editions. Go back to the achievement they've had. They dominated underage football for long. They prepared, they planned. Look at what Morocco are doing right now. Their men got to the final, their women got to the final, got to semi-final. These are things they sat down to do. They spent money, yes, but they had a plan. It is not just magic. Because we have it. I tell people, if you match the talent we have with proper planning, we should be dominating more than we had. I remember what Rashida Tajibari said before the last World Cup. She said, football is won on and off the field. Now we as players will do our part. Hopefully others will do their part. She was sending the message. Did they do their part?
No.
I mean the players,
no,
Falcons.
They
did their part 101%. Did the other part do? Absolutely not. I hope this time around they are not just words. It's easy to talk.
Yeah,
especially if you're a media person. Just give him the mic. Oh yeah, but we need to put this thing. WAFCON starts in just a few weeks.
Yeah.
Are we ready for it?
Do you know the last FIFA window, Falcons were not busy?
Nothing.
Every other country, Ghana played England, every other country, Senegal, South Africa, all of them were all busy. But the Super Falcons, nothing happened.
Since the WAFCON
they
only played qualifiers
on the World Cup playoffs
for the men.
That was where the focus was on. They were not busy. We missed 2 FIFA windows last year. We have 1 window that's going to happen in February. I hope. I remember, Austin, you're talking about the girls. I remember when I was in Morocco for the WAFCON, I was telling about what the girls were going through. I could remember what you said. You said something about that I'm trying to make excuses for them in case they don't win. You remember that word, right? We were talking about the training where they have to 1 hour, 30 minutes drive to training center, and you get there and then you see it's not covered, it's open, so anybody can actually come in. But the media officer was doing a lot to prevent people from coming in and ask journalists to go at 15 minutes. And then after that, they will drive back. Sometimes training is at 6:30 and they finish at 8. They drive back another 1 hour, 30 minutes. They get to the hotel. They have to leave there because there's no place for recovery there. There's no swimming pool, no gym there, so they had to go, somewhere close by. You see Falcons walking on the road to get to the gym for recovery. So it's actually funny. I was trying to explain to Austin last. He said, you're trying to make excuses for them. I'm happy they actually make us proud. They went on to win. I hope this time around we'll have a different story.
I'm live on TV. This is international TV.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Yeah, you're forgiving.
I said what I said then because of how we played against Botswana.
Yes.
Yes, you were on ground and you were seeing everything. But I was saying, look, this is the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Look, if you check it, the tournament started from them with that win over Zambia. And from that win over Zambia, let me get into the streets of Lagos. It was Malo, Moto, Pimpi, Bolu, understand. They didn't look back again. The first 2 matches, 3 matches, we were wondering, is this the same Super Falcons that we know? But you were trying to give me the balance, which was right. You said, look, Austin, the conditions aren't okay.
Yeah.
Look at where they're staying. Look at how far they need to travel to their training facility and all of that. And I like that we are bringing it back and telling those that are responsible to say, don't do the same thing, Like what they did and allowed CAF to do to the Super Eagles. Play a match in Fez, take plane back to Fez, and when they were coming back to Rabat, they had to travel 3 hours by road. Come on. Come on. Look.
Why don't you just stay in Rabat? Why don't you just stay in Rabat?
I know. They were
2 nights.
Fez is inland northern Morocco.
Yeah,
They came to Marrakesh to play Algeria, Sicilia. You let them to travel the next day back to Fez. And then you put the team in a bus. 3 hours, 45 minutes to come back to Rabat. The thing makes me... I want to just go and scream at some persons.
Also, we need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the NWFL. Of course, we still have the Davis Cup that we will promise you that we will talk about. But after this break, we're going to be talking about the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership Match Day 7. All right, time to talk about the Nigeria Women's Football League Premiership Match Day 7. Interesting results, especially with the Abia Angels actually stunning Delta Queens, former champions, by a lone goal right there in Asaba. So I'm going to run through all the results that went down. Of course, we'll focus on the biggest one. I call it the biggest one because I thought FC Robo were going to go through the season unbeaten before they entered the Super Series, but that didn't happen. Ramos Stars ensured it did not happen. Now, Rivers Angels and Heartland. Rivers Angels running riot here, 5-0. You have Edo Queens beating Pacesetter Queens by 2-1. Ibom Angels also recorded the same scoreline against Ekiti Queens, ended 2-1. Adamawa Queens lost at home 4-1 to champions Bayelsa Queens. Not surprised by that result because Bayelsa Queens are still unbeaten. The only team that are unbeaten, that are on a winning streak in the NWFL. Now, Danas Ladies in Lagos beat Aundimania Queens. You have Confluence Queens and Nasarawa Amazons. These ended 1-0. Oshun Babes and Sunshine Queens ended goalless. And Delta Queens shockingly lost at home to Abia Angels. You have Ramos Stars Ladies beating FC Robo Queens. I mean, that's 6 games they were on. Finally ended 1 by a lone goal. Now, you're looking at the top 3 in the NWFL Group A. You have Bayelsa Queens, of course, leading 6 games, 6 wins, of course, no losses, no draws, 14 goals are scored so far, and of course, goal difference of 14. They are on 18 points. Perfect record there. Rivers Angels, they've lost to Bayelsa Queens, and so they understand what it means. They've won 5, lost 1, goal difference of 9, and only 15 points. Edo Queens follows. Also, they also bear the brunt with Bayelsa Queens. They've lost 1 that was against Bayelsa Queens, and a goal difference of 7. And of course, they are also on 15 points. Rivers Angels is second by virtue of the numbers of goals they've scored so far. And the bottom 2, you have Nigeria Hotels. Nigeria Hotels after 6 goals, drawn 2, losing 4, and of course minus a 10 on goal difference and 2 points so far. And Pacesetter Queens, 7 games they played, are yet to win any, just like Nigeria Hotels. But then they've got a 1 draw and 6 losses so far, minus 9. And of course, just 1 point. That's just that goalless game that they had. Now, we look at Group B. FC Robo Queens still top in this group by virtue of the fact that they played 7 games, goal difference of 13, and they've lost 1. That's the one they lost to Ramos Stars Ladies. Nasarawa Amazons after 7 matches, winning 4, drawing 3, and of course, you have a goal difference of 6 and 15 points. You have Ramos Stars Ladies after 7 games. They've won 3, drawing 3, losing 1, and of course, a 12 points. And the bottom 3 coming from here. And the reason why you have 10 here and 9 on the other one, because one of the teams that did not meet criteria for getting into the season was actually out. And that's the reason you're having a Group B playing more matches. You have Danas Ladies, Confluence Queens, and of course, the newcomer, the Yemen Queens, at the bottom 3 coming from here. Bolelem, I was with you here. Were you surprised by the result? Real Masters Ladies beating the FC Robo Queens. They started like a house on fire from the beginning of the season, winning all their matches. But they went to Ikene, and of course, they couldn't get anything out of it.
Well, the game in Ikene is a Southwest derby. You know, in derby matches, form doesn't really matter. And I thought maybe Remo Stars would get a draw from that game, but it shows them Remo Stars Ladies picked up from where they left off last season. Yeah, they are not top like they were for majority of the first stanza last season, but whichever way, it was a good game, very close encounter. They ended just by 1 goal, but you have to still give kudos to Robo Queens. I didn't like that they lose. I think I mentioned it to you. I spoke with one of their two of their players on hope you guys are mentally ready, especially for second. I was saying, oh, they are giving their best from the round 1 to the playoffs and all, but going unbeaten all season is going to be very hard. Yeah. But at least they still maintain good gap. The question now is how can they bounce back immediately when they play their next match away from home. But good win for Remo Stars Ladies. I don't before you can easily say this conference is or this group is better. This one is more. Now both are the same. For example, in Group B, the top 3, top 4 teams have considered only 2 goals. Yeah. At the other end, so it's close encounter. Those are considered. That's the beauty of the women's football in Nigeria. I hope the best teams will be the ones to qualify for the playoffs, and we enjoy even more great football from
Yeah,
the
that's what we're expecting. And that's the goal right there. It came on in the 73rd minute. It was Cynthia Mega who proved decisive right there. It was a scramble, but then they will take it because they needed that. And after that, I mean, they had to lock up. It was a very intense game, but that was the end for FC Robo Queens. It ended just a repeat of that replay of that goal again, the way they scrambled and ensured that they pick up all 3 points and dented that record. Austin, just a quick one from you, because Rivers Angels were on fire. Romo Talahi Karim, I mean, standard performance. She scored a hat-trick. And you also have Abasiofun Uwa scoring a brace. Just 2 players scoring 5 goals for Rivers Angels. They were on fire against Atlant.
But in that group, let's still give the shout-out to Bielsa. Queens was still unbeaten, you know, showing bad champions mentality right there, you know. If they've gone the number of games 6 and they're still unbeaten, it tells you that they are looking at Rivers Angels and saying that they cannot afford to blink in that Group A. But now Group B, 2 vital wins. Abia Angels doing enough. In fact, not just enough, they stunned Delta Queens in Asaba. And, of course, Remo Stars Ladies doing what they had to do against FC Robo Queens. And if you check, it did so good for them on that Group B table. So Group B is looking like something that might just go down the wire, because now Delta Queens, they've dropped to about 4th on that log, and now teams begin to start, you know, looking at how they can keep that momentum till we get the teams that will go to the playoffs. So I like it. We've always said it that the NWFL is competitive. We love the women's game. It's beautiful. Aside, yes, we've seen some ugly scenes this season, but the football is beautiful. And we know it so well as analysts. Bolu don't lie. Cecilia don't lie. We love those away wins. We love those upsets. Because you guys make it look like I'm the only one who loves those upsets. We love it. I know you like the fact that, you know, Abia Angels told a beautiful story that it's not just the big teams that can see the small teams and beat them silly. So I really like it. So I want to just, you know, wrap up by saying shout out to Bielsa Queens, shout out to Abia Angels, and of course Remo Stars Ladies.
Yeah, I think Delta Queens will just be kicking themselves. They sacked their coach, Kamara Keshi, just 24 hours before the game. And of course, after that, you have Maureen Eke taking charge and losing that one. We need to pause right here when it comes to football. We're going to come back to football, and then when we return, it's going to be about the UEFA Champions League. Well, we're going to take a short time out. We'll be talking about the Davis Cup. We're talking about how Nigeria, the first time they took part in the Davis Cup was 1974. Well, right now, they are in World Group 2, trying to see if they can get promotion to World Group 1, because the qualifier is going to start in February. Of course, Lagos and Uzbekistan, Nigeria and Uzbekistan will be in Lagos for that qualifier. After this timeout, we'll have a very important guest joining us to talk about the Davis Cup in Nigeria. Bolu, you're going to take a step back, and when we have our guest, after that, you come back. We'll talk about the UEFA Champions League. That will be after this timeout. Stay with us. All right, so joining us in the studio is Victor Hemba. He is the chairman of Central Planning Committee for the Davis Cup Nigeria, and also the chairman technical of the Nigeria Tennis Federation. There's a lot. I mean, this is the Davis Cup, so all is set is what Group 2 tie between Nigeria and Uzbekistan, scheduled for February. Of course, I know Lagos is hosting, so you are a technical person in terms of logistics, security, everything you can think about. You're going to tell us more about this one, because the last time we were in Group 1 was in 1988 and 1989.
Yes.
That's a long time ago. So what are the plans for this particular fixture?
First of all, thank you for having me. I've always appreciated channels. They're they're the best we have in Nigeria.
Thank you.
And then secondly, I go to the point of the Davis Cup. Davis Cup actually, as you know, is the World Cup of tennis.
Yeah.
And we have been struggling for many years to get back to where we were in '89, where the Shehu Ladipo were right there with us in the Group 1. Group 1 stage is that one that qualifies you to be in the big league, the real big league.
Where you have the USA.
Yes, where you have the US,
England,
have,
the Spanish
yes, all of
team,
them. All of them are there.
Yeah.
So, and that's the real crux of the matter, where we really want to be again as it was before. Our board is a fresh one. We came in just barely 2 months back. I was on the board years back. I spent 8 years on the board of the Nigeria Tennis Federation. And coming back 2 months back, we made up our minds with our president that will return us back to that Group 1. Yes, that is our real target.
Okay, that's the target.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So what's at stake? I know the opportunity is for World Group 1. I mean, the winners later get to earn to play in qualifiers in 2027 and everything. But for Nigeria, I mean, obviously preparations are on ground. I mean, this readiness and everything. So tell us more, how prepared are the teams, the players that will be playing this particular game against Uzbekistan?
We had a couple of challenges. Countdown to these preparations, because we had issues.
8th of February?
Yeah, the 8th and 9th of 7th and 8th of February. The starting meet and greet, they call that event meet and greet, and all the ceremonials are 6th. Then the real events are 7th and 8th.
2 days.
So, but you know, we had issues with the takeoff of the preparation, because Uzbekistan, the team we're playing, the country we're playing rather, they challenged us. They took us to court of arbitration that they should receive this grant from us as host. They asked that we should lose the grant because we have security challenges in Nigeria. And again, they cited issues of malaria and yellow fever, all manner of issues. And but we just sailed through on the 5th of January. And within this short period of time, we put a lot of things in place to ensure that we had a very eventful occasion. And we have put together, I am the chairman of the Central Planning Committee. I've put together a very well-organized subcommittee base that is in charge of everything going on. I have, as you stated, the technical committee. I have the marketing and sponsorship drive committee. I have all the committees all lined up. And they're working assiduously towards delivering a very effective
because it's not just enough for you to have the committee, the personnel, it's also enough for them to be working.
They are very capable personnel.
I know Austin will have a couple of questions for you. Austin?
You've looked at the technicalities, Mr. Victor. It's good to have you. Let's talk about the quality on the court. Coaching, players, how ready is Nigeria?
Yes, you see, the issue of players, I will not guarantee that we're going to give you everything within these 2 months we've come on board. But I can only clearly guarantee Nigerians that in the next 3 years of we're going to be on for 4 years in our tenure as the board, but we're trying to re-engineer the entire board to put Nigeria back on that pedestal of tennis. And we're going to do that carefully and methodologically. We're going to get right there. We have been working hard. The players, as you just mentioned, we have players that are out there, out of the country. Bulus and the rest, they're coming in. Bulus is coming in. There are 2 of them we're targeting to bring in, but the second one had issues that we could not really handle immediately. So, but Bulus will come join the team we have on ground here. And the team, I think we're working heavily with them. Presently, they're already in camp. We started our camp. We opened a camp that has all the technical hands on ground. And we intend that by the time this tie is ready, we'll be very fit for the challenges that come with it. The Uzbeks are very good. They are known for their technical ability on court and everywhere. But we're also planning to match them. we have gone very deep to try to do a total survey of their play, their game plan and everything, and we're working towards delivering our boys that way.
Interesting. You mentioned some players. Are we going to be having, because I remember as of 2020, we have the likes of Wilson Igbinovia and Noso Madueke, Abayomi Phillips. Are we having these guys still around for this one? Or you're having a fresh set of players?
Yes, fresh set of guys. As at that time, their time is, most of them are out of the country and they've even deviated from the real ATP ranking, tour. They're more into coaching and the rest. But we have very effective boys. We have the Nkanis, we have Adele. They're all there. They're there. They're going to give you real exciting time to watch.
We really can't wait for that because we know it's the time we played over 2 days consists of 5 rubbers, 4 singles, and 1 doubles match.
Yes.
So we have all the players ready as you're speaking. Because you said you're going to invite some. Are they here now? Or you just have some here?
There's only one player that's not in camp.
Okay, just
and
one.
that player, we're hopefully waiting for him to be in camp before the end of the month.
And
again, we have a tie that we're playing with. Our neighbors here, Benin Republic, are also playing a tie. So we're bringing them in quickly to play a trial with us. It's a warm-up to the main event.
Okay, when is that happening? That's interesting.
Benin Republic is going to come in here 28.
Okay.
We're going to have them 28, 29, 30th. So they're going to be here playing with us, and we'll have a real match trial here.
Yeah,
that'll put us into that mood to face that very time.
Yeah, you mentioned that Uzbekistan raised questions of security. I know when it's in Lagos, security is just, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of that, what are you guys have done? Preparations to receive Uzbeks when they arrive in Nigeria?
There is what you call the security manual from the ITF.
Yeah.
They sent us a manual which was very robust. It's a very, very, very robust manual, and we've given to a security team that has worked assiduously. As we talk today, they're doing accreditation of security. There are over 60 security personnel being accredited. I left them before. In fact, that was what delayed me from getting here right on time. But the accreditation is going on, and I tell you, we're prepared very seriously to handle the security.
So are we going to be having official sites? I mean, accreditation, ticketing, match schedules. These are some of the things that journalists need to know. And, of course, the fans that want to come in to watch these guys play. Yes,
the marketing committee has designed the e-ticketing. And we're going to launch that e-ticketing platform by tomorrow. Everyone is going to see the whole Nigeria. Just key in, buy your tickets online. And you'll be right there at the event, you'll be accredited, and you'll be accredited online. Then you come there, use your barcode to come into the very prestigious Lagos Lawn Tennis Club.
That's where it's going to take place, as usual. Because that happens to be, Austin, that happens to be the only one. Official website, are we going to have that? Maybe as games are going on, you log on to website, you're seeing maybe streaming platform or something. What are we going to see?
Yes, we're going to have 2 particular streaming platforms.
So people can watch
those are for streaming.
Yeah. Okay.
Then our website, the Nigeria Tennis Federation website, which we just launched 2 months back.
Will have to be active because
is already active, but we're just putting finishing touches.
If I
with
click
all
on it,
these,
I'm going to get.
You're going to get it. Nigeria Tennis Federation.
Okay.
You go there, you see us live, and you see everyone on it. So, and you get every information you want to get about us. And again, you can click there, do a lot of things. Even your e-ticket, you're going to buy on our platform.
Interesting. I know, Austin, we need to wrap this up. You have more questions for Mr. Victor before he leaves the studio.
Yeah. I think Mr. Victor has done a great job. It's just for us, the media, to monitor everything now. It's good to put it out there that this is tennis we're talking about. And Nigeria as a country shouldn't be just football. So, Mr. Victor, you and your team, let them know that we're rooting for you to win so that we can have more persons talk about tennis in Nigeria.
Oh, thank you so much. And exactly that is the direction we're heading. We're also pleading with the country, just as you said, that we are here. We're all the family, one family with a National Sports Commission. And the Lagos State government has done so well. We're looking forward to the partnership with them so that we'll deliver a very, 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 very successful event.
Really can't wait to have that successful event. Mr. Victor Hemba, thank you so much for coming to the studio tonight.
Thank you so much.
And hopefully, when the tournament starts, we will be there live to actually cover the 2-day event. But thank you so much for coming.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Right, we need to listen to Anslot. We mentioned Anslot earlier, right? Talking about that 3-0 win against Marseille. And of course, the coming in of Mo Salah from the Africa Cup of Nations. He was away for 1 month, but he came back as if he never left. Let's listen to him. And of course, Bolo Omoni will join us on this segment to talk about the UEFA Champions League.
We could find players in between the lines. We could bring our attackers in promising positions. And it took a while before we scored the second, because I think we had chances earlier on to score the second. And the thing that was for the first time different this season than in all the other games, that the moment we were having a big chance to score the 2-0 that hit the post or the bar, 10 seconds later, they had a big chance. And usually this season, that ball goes in. And we're all complaining. But now the ball went over and we extended our lead to 2 and 3-0. And then the performance is still the same, but the perspective about how people talk about it is probably completely different. Having a draw at home against Burnley is not the standard of this football club. But we've created, I think, 3 or 4 times more chances against Burnley than we did tonight. But we scored 1 and tonight we scored 3. And even tonight we created quite a lot of chances, by the way. So he knows his teammates and he knows how we want to play. And it says a lot about how big of a professional he is, that being away with us for a month in a different team, that he was so fit to play today 90. I think he was close to a goal. Good ball from Cody. Usually that's a goal for him. Tonight it wasn't, but it didn't harm us because we scored 3.
That's Anslot there talking about Liverpool extending their unbeaten run to 13 matches in all competition, especially after that game, victory they had against Olympic Marseille. Of course, talk about Mo Salah also. He missed a sitter, but then it didn't really affect the result. But Bolo, a quick one on the UEFA Champions League. We have Bayern, Arsenal, the only team guarantee spots in the round of 16. So the others are still trying to finish top 8. Manchester City are in danger of not making it in the top 8. They'll have to wait, for the other one. But then we know all match 18 will be played next week, right?
Yep.
Next week.
There's a reason.
So just one more to go.
It's called the greatest club competition for a reason. About 18 matches and over 60 goals were scored. That's plenty. 3 here, 4 here, 5 here. And that's why it's the UEFA Champions League. Bayern Munich, their only dropped points was the loss of Arsenal. Arsenal still have 100% without any doubt. So I think it makes a whole lot of sense. And Man City, like I said, may not even make the playoff because they have to win their last match and win well. Because amongst all the teams in 13 points, they are towards the bottom and there are about 6 teams with 13. Well, it means they must win and win well. Imagine Man City dragging for playoffs. This is why it's called the UEFA Champions League.
I'm sure they actually underrated that team and they were well beaten. 3-1. Yeah, 3-1. That was the scoreline. Austin, let's wrap up with the UEFA Champions League. Mo Salah making his appearance since returning from the Africa Cup of Nations with nothing. But then it wasn't among the good scorers. But he missed a sitter. But you listen to Anslot, of course, Liverpool performance so far. After that bad run they have. But right now, it seems, they are back from that hammering. Was it 4-1 against PSV Eindhoven? But that was in November. It seems like a long time ago. But it actually happened in the Champions League.
Yeah, but, it said something very important, that the sort of result they had against Burnley is a no-no. Sometimes the sort of result you take into a football match will either do well for your momentum or just take you backwards. I think that result against Burnley was what propelled them, going to France against Marseille and getting that result was really, really important. And that's why they are not in the sort of situation that Manchester City find themselves. And if you check all the teams from the Premier League, they seem to be doing so well, except Manchester City, that is still struggling to, get into that stage for automatic qualification. Let's quickly get into the Europa League, some interesting results. Still talking about Premier League teams. Aston Villa did just enough, went away to beat Fenerbahce, and that pushed them to second on the log. They're doing just fine. I think Leon tops that table. Bologna played 2-2 against Celtic. Celtic played with one man down from the 34th minute, but they had scored 1 goal, and after they lost 1 man, they scored 1 goal, but Bologna had to fight, and then it ended 2-2. Brann and FC Midtjylland played 3-3. I told you Aston Villa beat Fenerbahce in Turkey by a single goal. Feyenoord defeated Sturm Graz by 3-0. Loads of results in the Europa League. Victoria Plzen and FC Porto shared the spoils. It ended 1-1. Celta Vigo and Lille. That game in the 45th minute, just approaching halftime, and the Celta Vigo won. Lille 0. We got to go. That's the show. We're back again tomorrow in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Bully, it was nice doing this with you. First time in the studio in January, right?
Yeah, it's always good being around that. Good to see you in 2026.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night's rest.